let's talk about volume profiles, but more importantly, let's do a strategy video. Meaning, let's talk about how you can use volume profiles to make better decisions, or to trade, or to just follow markets with a better understanding of risk and reward. So watch our mouse here. This is our indicators and strategies menu. We click it, we open up the menu, we go to volume profile and click, and then of course we have the volume profiles right here that we want to select. Right now we already have visible range on the chart, so why don't we also add a fixed range? And with the fixed range volume profile tool, we can simply select a starting point and an ending point. So for this video, let's start our research from this gap up and let's end it at the current price today. So what we have now are two volume profiles up. We have a volume profile that is specifically for only, we're going to shade it, it's only for this region. And what the volume profile here is telling us is in this region, here are the levels that attracted the most price volume. See these bars? So we see that the most price volume happened right here. Okay, we're going to hide our visible range, by the way, and just focus on this fixed range for now, because we're going to show you how you can use the fixed range volume profile to maybe make better decisions. So let's zoom in. Now we see Apple today is having a decent day. It's up quite a bit, but at the same time, something does stand out. Do we really want to buy today? Remember, this is just an example, APL for entertainment and education. Do we really want to buy here? Is this a good risk reward? Well, what's rather interesting, if you look, is you can see that volume has, over this time period, gotten very thin at these levels. You might call this a low volume node. So we'll make an arrow here and look at this low volume node. Low volume node. And what this means is we're saying that at this price level of about $133 per share, volume seems to, not increase much at all. And the last time it entered this region, take a look at this area, we're going to highlight it. The last time it entered this region, right, see this? Price actually dipped back down. There wasn't that much volume, and price seemed to gravitate back toward an area where volume did pick up. That's this bar here. So in this strategy video, as an example, what we might do is say, okay, price right now is too close to this low volume node. We'd rather get involved when there's more volume. The price levels that seem to get the most volume are right here, it looks like, right? $123 per share. And we can see these bars takes us all the way down to about $114 per share. So this seems to be the better region. And that's how we're going to use these volume profile bars to make a better decision. Rather than just blindly buying here without, doing much research at all, we're instead going to sit on our hands and we're going to make a calculated decision that, if price does the same thing that it did before, so as you can see, it went up into the zone and then corrected. It went actually up into this zone, it's not quite as high, and corrected. And then look at this again. It went right back into this zone, just like before, and then corrected. So if that happens again, right, this almost double top this zone, we want to be ready. And rather than buying into this region here, when it seems to not be the greatest risk-reward setup, let's wait. Let's be patient. So we really like this area here. By the way, this red line means point of control. The point of control is where the most volume happened at a specific price level over a period of time. So this bar here tells you that $114 per share is where the most volume happened. So let's just make it that simple. When price returns to this level, if it ever does, we'll get involved. This is a company that we've been watching. It's something we're interested in, and we're going to wait until it goes back to a high volume node. So this is a high volume node. When price goes back into this node, count us in. Check this out. We're going to open up our trading panel. In fact, we'll place this on a paper trade just so you can see it for yourself. So we open up our paper trading account. This button here is where our order panel is. And let's do a limit. This is how you can start to make better decisions. Don't have FOMO. Don't chase. Be patient. So what we did in our volume profile strategy video is we decided that we're going to wait. We're going to sit on our hands. And we believe that about $114 to $115 per share is a better area for us to buy. So in this case, we'll do 115. We will buy 25 shares. And of course, we will actually set a stop loss because we believe in risk management. And for this trade, if it cuts underneath this support level, in this example, you know, these, let's say around this area, see these low volume nodes here? These are shaded very lightly. If it cuts back into these at about 107, let's see, here's that gap for potential gap fill. So if it cuts out at, let's do our price of 105, we'd like to sell. So we'd like to get out. Now we click buy, and our trade has been placed, and now we just get to walk away. So what we did there is we said, this is a trade we like, where we are willing to wait. Right, we're going to wait, and we'll buy in the high volume node, and the trade is essentially saying that we like this company, we don't want to chase it, we'll wait for an area that has a lot of volume, and we'll have more liquidity to buy, less slippage, possibly better execution, and that's the trade. And if it breaks back down to this stop loss zone, we'll get out. Fine with us. Now you might be saying that there's a support level here, but we're making this decision based off of these low volume nodes, and we just would rather not be involved in these areas. Maybe this gap will fill. It's just an example. The more important point is that we are placing a buy order in the high volume node. Why don't we do another example? We could do several more to make sure that this concept really makes sense to everyone. And remember, no strategy hits 100% of the time. It's just not possible, right? There's just no way that anything hits 100% of the time. Trading is a game of odds, of risk management. Investing is much the same. You want to focus on diversification, and as long as you're managing risk, you can stay in the game for a long time. So here's the Euro USD. You could use this in Forex, for example. And we don't know many people who do use this in Forex, but it's an opportunity and an option for you to explore. So let's turn on the visible range, and we will hide actually this, the volume profile that we've drawn here. We will actually hide. And now we have a visible range volume profile. We'll hide our order panel. A visible range volume profile tells us how much volume traded at each specific price over a period of time that we're looking at. So this is our starting point, and this is our ending point. And what we see here is how much trading volume occurred at each specific price over this time, right? So from here all the way to here. And we see how much trading volume occurred at each specific price. Now, if we wanted to use this as a strategy or just some way to balance our risk, we could, of course, go into, if you wanted to make a short-term time frame, you could do much the same thing we did before, and you can let the chart adapt with you. So as we zoom out, watch these bars change. See that? Because what's happening is as we change our time frame, these volume bars are instantly recalculating to tell us over this time period, here's our starting point, and here's our ending point, here's how much volume occurred at each price level. Okay, so as you can see now, we have this chart set up, and we just want to look for a possible trade to place. And isn't this interesting, by the way? Look at this right here. Price at the time of this video seemed to hit this area and sell off. It hit this high volume area, this high volume node, and it's since dropped. This is a 30-minute chart of the Euro USD. So let's zoom in and just try to get a better feel for what's going on and how we could possibly use this. Well, there isn't exactly any great trade that's setting up here. In fact, the more interesting thing is to examine that, that it's having a hard time breaking through. It seems to be in a downtrend because it's having a hard time breaking through this high volume node of 1.2. And so what we could do then instead is zoom out to get a little more clarity, right? Let's zoom out maybe to let's do a 4-hour chart. Let's zoom out and let's see what clarity we can get now. So we still see that 1.2 region, 1.21. Let's continue to zoom out to get a better feel for this. And now that's interesting. Something happened back here in October, and it drastically changed the volume profile. So now that has caught our attention. Very, very interesting. So what we can do is now zoom into the chart, and we can see that as we let these volume profile bars adjust, we can see that 1.18 is probably the next best setup, and we can use our price range tool to see it's about a 2% drop from here. So we could do the same thing as the chart that we, just worked on with Apple. We see, look at this low volume here. So interesting. For some reason, there is some very low trading volume in these levels. So why don't we have some patience? And let's assume, or let's just say to ourselves, we are willing to be patient, and we are willing to wait for these high volume nodes. So this is 1.18, and this is 1.186. So let's open up our order panel. We will go to a buy order limit, and let's do 1.18. And of course, that's quite a bit. So let's just keep this small, just do 20. And we'll set a stop loss at a price of, let's say, 1.15. And what we could do is zoom out long term to get a sense of, so 1.15 would mean that we break these levels and we enter into this low volume area, this low volume node, and we'd like to be out at that point, 1.15. So we will now click buy. The order's placed, it's shown on our chart, and now we can just sit back and relax and wait for this order to happen. And what we're doing is we're just using the volume profile to have more patience. And that is actually really key, because if you're an experienced trader listening to this video, you know just how many people get sucked into markets with FOMO and the desire to just get more involved and to buy and sell without much analysis. Well, you can use the volume profile tools to slow down your decision making, to make more calculated decisions, and to balance risk and reward. Now we'll show you one more example in this video, and this is with Session Volume HD. So Session Volume HD and Session Volume, that is, by the way, Session Volume HD. They show you how much volume was traded throughout a specific session, right? So see how this blue area shows you the volume profile? This is a single trading session. We'll actually write this note. This is a trading session. So this is a single trading session, this blue area. This is another trading session. So you get what we're saying? And then, of course, this is another trading session. So each blue area is a trading session, and these volume profiles are telling you where the most trading happened at a price level within this session. Okay, so we can actually now, if you really wanted to do some short-term trading, maybe you wanted to go all the way down to a 1-minute chart. Remember, just for entertainment and educational purposes. Well, now that we're on a 1-minute chart, we have our Session Volume HD. HD means that it's going to dynamically adjust to show us more and more detail the more we zoom into the chart. And what we can do now is, if we wanted to place a trade on this minute chart, is we could say, well, we now see that this is interesting. This is one of the highest volume nodes on the day, right here. This 1.21 is one of the highest volume levels. Not far behind, or the highest, is 1.21, because this red line is point of control. So we could say that, maybe in this instance, we want to make a bet that this volume node access support. We can make that bet. And why don't we do it for this video? Remember, just an example. And let's actually, make this more compact so we can see. So this volume node here, if we look, it's about 1.21 right here, this level. 1.21 has attracted a ton of volume in this trading session. So we open up our order panel, and we will go 1.210. Let's make sure we get this perfect. 1.2106. And of course, it's just paper trading, and we just want to maintain something, we don't want to take too much risk or anything of the sort. And then stop loss, we could use our volume profile to help us with our stop loss. And basically this low volume node area, or this is actually sort of the last, this is the sort of the last high volume node. So if it breaks through this high volume node of 1.20, we can set our stop loss there. So if this high volume node does not, hold up, we will get out and we'll let this low volume node, see these low volume bars, we'll let those, right, they can stop out our shares and the traders there can do whatever it is they have to do. So our stop loss then will be 1.2009. 1.2009. And now we click buy. And our order has been set. We have a buy limit at this high volume node. We have a stop loss when it goes into this low volume node. And that is an example. Actually, we actually want to raise this stop loss. So this is a good example for this video. We'd rather have this stop loss more closer to this high volume node. So that would actually be 1.2096. Oops. Let's do this. So remember, you can just modify your order by clicking. We'll delete this highlighter tool. 1.296. Modify order. There we are. And so if it breaks through this high volume node and enters into this region, we want to be out. So that is how you can use the session volume HD. Now, let's just move on now for also something interesting, which is, let's just talk about now using the volume profile to not only trade, but why don't we talk about the volume profile for just analyzing markets, sharing facts, being more knowledgeable. So we've opened up a chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD, and let's say we don't want to trade, we just want to analyze price, share some facts with friends or colleagues. You can use the volume profile to do that. So we're going to open up our volume profile. We're going to do visible range because visible range is a fun way to go through price. Let's set this to log chart so we can sort of see what's going on. A lot of people are talking about Bitcoin right now, and we can instantly see something interesting. At these price levels, this is so interesting, right? At these price levels here, we can see that volume is actually quite low. Look at these volume bars here. They are they're not exactly jumping through the roof. What we really see is that 18,000, this region, attracted a ton of volume. That is that's some insight. We now can kind of see where the most trading was happening. So this can be something that we could share, we could write about, we could possibly make note of. Bitcoin is having an epic run at the time of this video, at least. As you can see from this region, it's up 89%. However, we would like to point out that, the most trading volume did happen in this 18,000 range. And that's just a fun fact we could share with friends, we could post to social. And so you can use volume profiles to enhance your research, to share more facts about markets. And with the visible range, as we zoom out, see the bars automatically recalculating to fit our time frame. And you can just have so much fun doing this. Let's go to a weekly chart. So you could even look back at some really long-term price history here. So you see 8,000, going back to 2018, 8,000 attracted the most trading volume. We can zoom in some more, and we see 8,000 again. Let's keep zooming in. Let's go to about start of 2019. Now you see 8,900 attracted the most trading volume. So you can start to really use volume profiles to have some fun, to do some research, to discover new facts about the asset that you are looking into, and just to see what price levels are attracting the most volume. Remember, this is really different than regular volume, so we just will add volume to the chart, because regular volume tells you how much trading volume happened on a specific day. It does not tell you how much trading volume happened at a specific price. That's the key difference. This tells you how much trading volume happened at a specific price. Volume bars at the bottom tell you how much trading volume happened at a specific time or specific day. So we hope this video helped you. It's just meant to be an explainer of some of the ways you could use the volume profile to study markets, find interesting facts, maybe trade ideas, to manage risk, and that is really the introduction and the analysis we wanted to share in this video. So just to quickly wrap up, remember, volume profiles are here, indicators and strategies. Then click volume profile, and you have all of these options available to you. So we appreciate everyone watching. If you have any questions, please ask your questions below, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for watching. And actually what we'll do to end this video is we'll write volume profile strategy video. We'll make this 40 to really get it across. Let's make our background, let's really enhance our background. And